Hi, everybody. Hope you're well today. I've been thinking a lot about my journey through depression years ago, anxiety, panic, all those things, and how I've turned things around for myself. And now, at a different level, in many respects, I feel like I'm starting all over again. But what I want to share with you is, or at least in part to you, is that if you are going through some very difficult times, and not just if you're younger, but especially if you're younger, try to be mindful who you see to help you along your journey. Now, I don't regret any of the people that I saw, the choices I made, because I only knew what I knew then. However, some of it has been very difficult, and that's a fact. And if I had my time over again, I may do things differently, but hindsight is a beautiful thing, and I knew no different then. And I was also at the mercy of others in a way. And once you get into the system, as I put it, you do hand over your power to a degree, unless you start making decisions and choices for yourself. So if you are younger, and as I say, I'm not just addressing it to you, but primarily today, and you're going to see a therapist of any kind, I would encourage you to invest your time and possibly your money in someone who can not only help you through what you're experiencing, to understand where it's come from and hold the space for you to unleash some of the feelings that you have through trauma, perhaps abuse, any kind of shock that you may have experienced, because that's important. And you need to know that you're in a safe and confidential environment. Equally, someone, or it may not be the same person, it may be someone else you go and see afterwards, that can help you do that, but also start to turn things around. Look at your responsibility in what you've created thus far, as in the end results in your life, the consequences as a result of what experiences you've had. Let me explain that a little bit more. I'll use one of my examples. When I was quite isolated and had a breakdown and couldn't work when I was in the bank, and I just needed to retreat. And I did, and it was very successful for me. And I needed to go within, and I think that's a very valuable thing to be able to do along the way. It was scary, sure, but it was also a good time because I needed that insight and introspection. And throughout that time, I was led, call it divine guidance, spirit, intuition, whatever. For me, it was intuition and divine guidance to read a book that would help me look further within and be introspective. And one particular book that I read at the time was really based on how depression, trauma, anything like that that you may have experienced is not your fault, but what comes after is your responsibility. And the work I'm doing now in my coaching, both receiving coaching and giving it to others, is also based around that we need to take personal responsibility. Now, if you've grown up thinking that responsibility is born out of blame and fault, then those two things can become confused. And believe you me, I've had that a lot and can still do sometimes, but I'm breaking that pattern now, thank God. So if you can start taking personal responsibility and actually look at the idea even that you have some input into what you create in your life, what you see reflected back to you, then you have far more possibility in that moment to actually turn things around, because then you become more powerful, you take back your power, and you can actually say, well, it looks like I'm creating this and that, and this is a similar pattern. So, what is it in me? What is it I believe? What is it I'm doing? I'm saying? How am I behaving that is drawing this experience to me, or these experiences? Because more often than not, we see things happen in a similar way repeatedly until perhaps we get a knock on the head or a loud bang somewhere along the line to make us realize that, we need to take note, because that's the point at which we can start to turn things around. So, the reason I'm suggesting that this is more aimed at people who are younger, but not solely, is because the sooner you can start to learn this way of being and start taking personal responsibility, the quicker you can make those changes and the easier your life can become earlier on. Because believe you me, being a little bit older now, it can be harder along the way because certain patterns are more ingrained and you have to put a little bit more energy into changing things. That said, it's never too late. And that's what I'm doing. And you can too, if you're a bit older like me, because it's never too late. You're never too old. You're never too anything. You can start today. But honestly, if you're younger, I really implore you to find somebody that can help you do that, or a couple of people or a few people, because you may need to, just not just see one person. And the more you can take personal responsibility, you take ownership, you start looking at how you can create a more healthy lifestyle, put in structures that can support you to do that. And that in itself helps you build resilience, inner strength, a sense of empowerment, a sense of achievement, and starts helping you to build yourself up rather than knocking yourself down, which is normally what people who've experienced trauma and abuse and other kinds of shock tend to do on a regular basis. So I hope that helps. And whether it be a coach, a therapist of any other kind, or a few together, then bear that in mind and choose wisely. And also, something I've learned, it doesn't need to be somebody you like or you think that you particularly get on with. As the saying goes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And sometimes somebody presents themselves who you might not be drawn to because you like them, but you have a strong sense that they can help you, they can challenge you, they can draw out of you what is needed. So start trusting yourself and start making different choices today about who you decide is going to accompany you and help you along your journey. Could be a good friend as well. But have a plan and intention that it's about moving forward, it's about turning things around, making things different, helping you become the true person you were meant to be, to your fullest, greatest potential. And I wish you well. And if you should seek a good coach and you're drawn to what I've said and any of this resonates with you, then please do contact me. But otherwise, there are plenty of great people out there, and choose wisely, look after yourselves, and I shall speak to you soon. Take care now. Bye bye.